Okay, what I have here is a way to kill weeds without pesticides because we want to, save the planet, man. So here's an example of weeds that have been killed. I don't know, it may be too dark. Um, that have been killed using boiling water. I boil water for my eggs in the morning. I have 4 to 5 eggs a day. Cholesterol is good for you. I am not going to get Alzheimer's because I'm eating lots of cholesterol. Not fried. Stay away from fried foods. Anyway, so the problem with using boiling water, which in this case is just the waste from the boiling the eggs, is that it's expensive. I don't boil water just to put it on the weeds. This is a byproduct. After I'm finished eating, I'll come out here. Well, actually, when I'm finished boiling them, I come out here and pour the boiling water on the weeds. So I came up with an idea to use a rocket stove to heat water, which is it still costs, but the fuel is taken from just the wood debris that's laying around the yard. So here's the stove. I've already put the can on top, and this, I don't know if you can see this. This is just a 3-inch corner into another 3-inch corner inside here. You can't see it. It's buried underneath. And then it comes up inside like a 4 or 5-inch tube. And for the insulation between the outer and the inner pipe is dirt, just regular old dirt. It's an insulator. That's all we need. I put this thing together in about 20 minutes, if that. I built these pipes have been laying around from a previous build. And then I took the can and put it on these rocks. My wife dug this lovely fire pit, and then I proceeded to take it apart and use it for my own ends. So this is fairly well balanced. Maybe you can't see it, the water here is pretty much centered around rings the center evenly. So the question that I had in my mind was, would there be enough of a space under here so that there would be enough of a draft for the stove to heat the can? In other words, would the can being on top constrict the flow of air and then therefore shut the stove down? So we're going to see if that's the case. Now we have some dead pine, really, really small. You can tell it's just really kindling. You can see it's really, really small. So we've got that. I'm going to put it in there to start the fire, and then I'll go out and get some bigger pieces. And we'll see how it goes. I got plenty of this stuff just laying around. This is just, I pulled off a tree. Don't worry, the tree is alive, and it was just the branches were dead and dry. That's the thing you want, is dry wood. I'm gonna get some water here, and then put on the top of that thing. I'm not gonna put it in a bucket, boil it in the bucket. Just put it on top here, and then we'll start the stove going. Let's just see how hot it gets. I've got a thermometer. Maybe I'll go get that. Who needs measurements? Okay, so here we go. We got some of these little tiny branches. I stripped them off the bigger piece and twisted them together. You need them close together, otherwise, if they're too far apart from the way they sit here in the branch themselves, there's too much space between them. So you've got to. This is Boy Scout fire making 101. So that's the idea there. And then we'll just light this puppy here. I'm actually going to light this and then drop it in. This is an egg carton, paper egg carton. A little windy out here. I'm not sure if this will. Egg cartons work really well. A lot of times I'll take the egg cartons and put wax in them for fire starters in the house. Or we have a wood burning stove in the house. We drop that right in there, and then you just give it a little blow, and now you've got draft. You can hear it. See that? No, already I'm running out of fuel, so I'm gonna see if I can get this thing going here. I'll be back. I guess you can't see it. Yeah, you can see some of the smoke coming out from underneath. So that smoke, once it starts heating, the inner tube gets heated, it'll start burning more completely, and you won't have that unburnt smoke going up. And so all that smoke that normally goes off as waste and into the atmosphere, man, carbon dioxide increase your carbon footprint by so much. Anyway, that will totally burn. I'm not sure it's total, but very, very little waste. So it's highly efficient. Now the big question is whether or not that is enough to heat water to produce enough water to kill weeds en masse. Okay, so we got it set up, and I did a test yesterday. I didn't film it because didn't feel like it. But anyway, it was a flop. I mean, I've got the stove to burn fine, had draw, and the top here got hot, but the water just got just above, I didn't measure it, but probably hot bath water. Maybe a little bit too hot for a bath, but obviously not hot enough to boil water. And I was out here for about an hour, so we're going to give it another shot. I've got another idea here I'm going to show. So I took the 55-gallon barrel off, and this is what was underneath. And here is the inner pipe and the outer pipe, and you can see in between the insulation I'm using is dirt. It's plain old dirt. So I just got a couple of brackets. These are used for securing rafters. And I just put it right there so we have some room for the exhaust heat, and then a little bit of an offset there to put the kettle on. A little precarious. Don't do this with kids around. The balance is not great, but this is what I had it close at hand, so that's what I'm using. And then this is a whistling kettle, so what I'm going to do is just start the fire and see how long it goes without it being attended. And then when it's boiling, it's full. When it's boiling, we'll whistle. Now, I'm going to try to get to pause this again. Every time I pause it and restart it, it saves the video. I don't understand why that is. Okay, so we're going to start this up again. I'm recording this again because I like watching it myself. Got some egg carton there. This time I got a match. And little twigs and really dry stuff. We've had a sort of a dry winter here. Things are really pretty dry. So it's going, and then we have to get the draft going, so just blow on it. Did it really quickly last time. There you go. I don't know if you can see it. You may be able to hear it. Yeah, there we go. And then up the top here you see the smoke coming off. And that will disappear once, I believe, the chamber on the inside gets hot enough, and so the smoke doesn't cool to below, I guess, ignition point. Probably can't see it too well, but I got a steaming kettle. Can't hear it though. I had to tend to the hamburgers, so that takes precedence over keeping the fire going. Okay, so the fire's out. I had to go tend to hamburgers, so that took. But you can see it's. You can even hear it. It's boiling in there. Didn't whistle, but we do have hot water. And now, for the fun. This is what makes it all worthwhile. See these little guys? Oh, there's so many. This is what you call a target-rich environment. Ah, here we go. Death to the old weed. Death to the... Doesn't look very hot. Well, that's hot. Death to the weed. Still, I think I have to build a bigger chamber. This is a big mama. We'll come and check these out later. And you can see it steaming there. It's probably easier just to heat the water on a propane stove.